Hi, do you want to create an application architecture which responds to events? Do you want to create an enterprise scale event routing service? Well, there is a service in Azure called Azure Event Grid, which helps you to do exactly that. As you can see, that Event Grid is a service which takes events from a variety of sources like Azure Blob Storage, resource groups, subscriptions, service bus, container registry, etc., etc. Takes those events and passes them on to the event handlers, which can actually respond to those events. It can be functions, which can run a particular code in response to an event. It can be service bus, it can be a logic app, or it can be a webhook application as well. So Azure Event Grid is actually an enterprise scale event routing service, which helps to respond instantly to the events in an enterprise, as well as to build automation around the operations. It also helps to build applications which are responsive to events. So the main components of Azure Event Grid are events, which are the events themselves, the event sources, which we just saw, the topics, which are the endpoints to which the publishers can send the events. The event subscriptions are again the endpoints of event handlers. And then we have the event handlers, which are the different services which can handle the events. So in this demo, we have a very short demonstration of the Event Grid service, in which I've taken the Azure Blob as the event source, and then the event handler is a logic app which is being integrated through the Azure Event Grid service. So whenever there is an Azure Blob container created or blobs are uploaded to the container, the Azure Event Grid service would detect those events and pass them on to the event handler, which is Azure Logic App. So let's check them in action. So if I go to my Azure subscription, you can see that I do have a storage account. Okay, in the storage account, I have created an event grid, which is actually taking a subscription of Logic App as the event handler. And if I go to my containers, okay, my containers, I do have a couple of containers. So let me create a third container and upload a couple of blobs to it, right? So I have a container, I'm creating a container 3. So it's being created at the time. Let's note down the time. Okay, 4:46, and I have created the container. If I go inside the container, let me upload a couple of blobs onto it. All right, so I have created a container, and I have uploaded a couple of blobs. So as per our event grid, this event of the creation of the container as well as the upload of the blobs will be detected as events, and that will be passed on to the Azure Logic App. Okay, so this is my storage account. So the Logic App is here. If I go to my Logic App, and so it was, let's check the time. Okay, so the time was at 46. If I refresh it, I can see that somewhere around the same time I got the logs. Okay, that means the Azure Event Grid has detected the events from the Azure Blob container, and that has published and that has pushed those events into the handler of the Logic App. So that was a very brief about Azure Event Grid. Hope that was insightful. Thank you.